What happens when a police series solves real crimes but lets humour, personality, oddball moments drive just as much of the story? Out of San Francisco streets and the real muscle car obsession, a strange hybrid took shape, one built on action, humour and chemistry. So how did this setup turn into a 6-season run and still come back decades later? Let's find out. This is the history of Nash Bridges. The concept of the series began with Carlton Cuse developing a cop show that was intended to feel less rigid in tone than many network cop shows of that period. While it followed a similar structure, the approach leaned towards blending investigation with humour and personality, rather than sticking closely to the strict procedural format. The series was built around the San Francisco Police Department's Special Investigations Unit. CBS liked it and approved the project in 1995, giving the show the green light. The series was developed from the beginning as a starring vehicle for Don Johnson, with the series built around his screen presence and persona. He was cast as Nash Bridges and also served as an executive producer through his own company. Cheech Marin was cast as Inspector Joe Dominguez, Nash's partner and longtime friend. Jodie Lynn O'Keefe joined the cast as Cassidy Bridges, Nash's daughter. Jeff Perry was also cast as Inspector Harvey Leak. Jamie P. Gomez portrayed Inspector Evan Cortez, the youngest member of the SIU and Harvey's closest friend. Karahiroyuki Tagawa appeared during the first 2 seasons as Lieutenant A.J. Shimamura, the commanding officer of the SIU. Stone Cold Steve Austin appeared during season 4 and 5 as Inspector Jake Cage, and Yasmin Bleeth appeared during season 4 and 5 as Inspector Caitlin Cross. The music played a noticeable role in shaping the identity of the series, and it changed more than once during its run. In the first season, the show primarily used an instrumental theme, but that changed in season 2 when the opening theme was replaced with I Got a Friend in You, written by Eddie Jobson and performed by Gigi McKenzie. That theme remained in place through seasons 3, 4 and 5, and is by far the most well-known of the show's opening themes. For the 6th and final season, the theme changed again. The series introduced a new opening composed by Velton Ray Bunch. Nash Bridges premiered on CBS in March '96. Across its 6-season run, the series maintained fair ratings according to Nielsen's. It was never the highest rated show on television, but it performed solidly enough to remain on the schedule for many years. Audience response tended to focus on the show's tone and its lead performances. Viewers responded to the mix of crime stories with lighter character moments, and the dynamic between Nash Bridges and Joey Dominguez became a key part of the show's appeal. Behind the scenes, the series was produced and filmed on location in the San Francisco Bay Area. Treasure Island played a major role in the show's production. Hangar 2 was used as the location for permanent sets, including Nash's apartment. The series employed several hundred local workers across its departments, including production crews and staff members. Filming on the busy city streets created logistical challenges, especially for the high-speed car chases, which required coordination with officials and were often restricted to weekends to minimize disruptions. All the location shooting and elaborate action sequences mounted to an average cost for every episode of nearly $2 million. Behind the scenes, the show's use of the 1971 Plymouth Barracuda convertible became one of its famous production elements. What appeared on screen as a single car in reality was multiple vehicles used across the series. During its 6-season run, different 1970 and 1971 Plymouth Cudas and Barracudas were used to portray the convertible on screen. there were 4 main cars built for regular use during production. There was also a 5th one, a gutted 1972 Barracuda with its roof cut off, which was constructed for a single explosion scene in Season 6, Episode 14. Early in the production, including the pilot episode, Don Johnson handled much of the aggressive driving himself, excluding the dangerous stunt work. During filming, Johnson reportedly pushed the primary hero car hard enough to blow its original engine. Instead of rebuilding it, the production upgraded the engine. It became his preferred car, and it was eventually kept by him after the series ended. Later, the car changed hands several times and has since been restored twice. The appearance of the cars also changed after the pilot. They were initially painted lemon yellow, a factory Plymouth colour. After testing on camera, the cars were repainted in a slightly darker shade of caterpillar yellow. Beyond the cars themselves, the series relied on practical stunts, including vehicle jumps and crashes, using physical effects rather than early CGI. By the time the show reached its 6th season, the show was still pulling in fair ratings, but the situation behind the scenes had become increasingly complicated. The network had moved the series to Friday nights, where it found itself in direct competition with NBC's Law & Order Special Victims Unit. Because the show was so expensive to make, Paramount Network Television, which was producing the series at that point, felt the show had become too expensive to continue under their existing deal. CBS actually wanted a 7th season, and the network already had enough episodes to make the series valuable in syndication and saw continued use in keeping it alive a little longer. But that plan fell apart when Paramount was not willing to continue producing the show without better financial terms. Even though CBS and Paramount were both owned by Viacom at the time, the internal dispute still stopped the renewal from moving forward. Another factor for the cancellation was Don Johnson himself. After 6 seasons, the workload of a network series had taken its toll. Johnson was ready to move on, and that reality made the idea of pushing the show into another season far less appealing. With rising costs, a tough time slot, and its lead star prepared to step away, Nash Bridges reached a natural breaking point, so the final episode aired in May 2001. The series' first home media release arrived in the late 2000s, when the first 3 seasons were released on DVD. In 2014, Visual Entertainment acquired the rights to the series and released the complete run in a single collection. This set included all 122 episodes across 27 discs, making it the first time the entire series was available in one package. The package was later reissued in a slimmer disc configuration, followed by a Blu-ray release in 2016. For fans who want to add the series to their collection, I've added a link in the description below, and there should be a card popping up on screen to help you check it out. Nash Bridges left a quieter legacy than many long-running police shows, but it never really disappeared. After the series ended, the series continued to circulate through syndication and home media, remaining visible to audiences well beyond its original run. Its mix of light crime stories, character-driven humor, and a distinctly San Francisco setting helped it retain a steady following over the years. In 2019, the property moved forward again when a Nash Bridges revival was announced in the form of a 2-hour movie. The project was developed as a continuation rather than a full reboot, returning to the characters years later instead of resetting the premise. The film aired in November 21, bringing Don Johnson, Cheech Marin, and Jeff Perry back together and confirming that the show still had recognition and an audience willing to revisit it. Alongside the extended afterlife, the show also became connected to a major legal dispute involving Don Johnson and the show's original production partners. Johnson had negotiated a contract granting him a 50% stake in the series if it surpassed 66 episodes, a threshold the show exceeded during its 6-season run. A long-running court case followed, with Johnson suing the related companies over unpaid profits. The dispute concluded with a $90 million settlement paid to Johnson, formally closing the case and becoming one of the most significant off-screen developments tied to the series. Now what can I say? It's a really fun and funny TV show, and Don Johnson is completely in his element. Now this is the kind of role that fits him perfectly. He's relaxed, confident and natural in a way that makes the character instantly watchable. From the realistic and lively family relationships to Johnson just being Johnson on screen, the series covers a lot of ground without ever feeling heavy. The chemistry between the cast is one of the biggest reasons it works. Nothing feels forced, the soundtrack is great, the storyline keeps moving, and the action is constant without becoming exhausting. Joey Dominguez, played by Cheech Marin, adds another layer that really brings the show to life. His family problems are their own ongoing comedy. Some of Joe's lines are genuinely hysterical, and they only work because of Marin. At the end of the day, the series knew exactly what it wanted to be, and it delivers that with real confidence. And we're not done yet. Next time, we dive into a 90s sitcom. Until then, why don't you check out our previous video on Beauty and the Beast.
The adventure.
Thanks for watching, please like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.